Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Wednesday the 28th of August. So, well, starting off with the euro dollar, and very little movement yesterday. In fact, for quite a long time it was sitting in a 17 pip range. You can see how tight it was yesterday, and well, it's put in a bear on a daily point, from a daily point of view, a bearish pivot swing there, bearish sort of reversal. Just like this one was a bullish reversal this way around here, so it pushed up. Doesn't mean so it will definitely push down, but it has triggered, just about triggered the lows of it, but it doesn't look particularly healthy there for the upside at the moment. It does look like, well, could see more continuation to the downside. The thing is, as I've said quite a lot recently, I just cannot be trading it. I've tried trading it. It used to be my bread and butter currency, but whilst the average true range is as low as 50 pips, it doesn't leave much in it. Bearing in mind, a lot of days it runs a lot less. In fact, yesterday, as I said, I was waiting for this potential breakdown to the downside, but the time that happened, I mean, yes, I could have sold into the 50 or some of the 34 crossover there. It could have been sold into there. That's fine, but this has only moved around about 17 pips yesterday, and well, targets on the break would have been less than 20 pips, and the risk reward just didn't fit for me. So there we go. But it is selling off. I could have left it open, and it may have eventually done something, but even so, it's not the best at the moment, which leaves us this character from the majors. At least the average true range sitting there at 86 pips. What's it doing technically? Well, it's pushing up towards its monthly pivot and its daily 50. I quite like this. Now, if it breaks that daily pivot, monthly pivot, if it breaks that monthly pivot, it becomes quite bullish, and we could see further upside. Now, of course, there's so much going on that could affect the pound, and it's got its own risks. However, technically at the moment, you can see this 4-hourly chart over the last few weeks, higher lows, higher highs running through it. It's running in the right sort of direction. A bit of divergence maybe at the absolute tops there, but when you look at the price action itself, well, to me it still looks like it might continue up, and really that for me that would only be triggered on the break of these lows here, so it would have to break 122 to be knocking on the bit more bearish side and expect more downside. So at the moment I'm looking at this still bullish. Yesterday it broke too quickly for me yesterday, unfortunately, and just ran, and well, it broke through where I was looking for yesterday. I know at least one of our traders got into it because he pressed the button early, so it has got some potential for the upside. I'm just looking really quite simply at a trend line break at the moment. If it starts breaking above the trend from the highs there through to if it starts breaking through there, I would be looking for it. Maybe, as I said, the monthly pivot there is above, and it just from a daily perspective, this R1 23.29 sort of zone. Where's the monthly pivot there? 29. That's 23.26. So that's quite a bit further there, but 23.20. Oh, sorry, beg your pardon. 23.26, 23.28. Okay, that's round about where the monthly pivot is. You just need to watch that monthly pivot. It may just find some resistance into that initially, but that's got a good probability of being hit in the month. We haven't got many more days left, so there's the potential for the upside, but it has to break first. At the moment, it's doodling. If it was to roll over, I'd probably stand aside and leave it. But potential good news to be had whilst there's talks going on in Europe. Okay, dollar yen. Obviously, there's always potential it might not work as well. Sorry, back to dollar yen. So yesterday I was looking at potential downside, and it's got there, but it was so slow. And again, it's one of these markets that you look at it, and look at the way this price actions. It's just tightening up, which is coiling up like a spring, and at some point, just as it did the previous Friday there, it will probably go. But I can't wait for it to happen one day next week or late this week. Really, it could pitch down, but as I say, it's so coiled up there. Targets become a little bit smaller, and it doesn't really fill me with too much excitement. However, not that I should be filled with any excitement, of course, it's trading. But the interest in trading, I should say. Looking down, S1, S2 possible, and it might go a bit earlier, and if you want to hang into it, to me it still has a good chance of rolling over. Looking at the bigger picture, when you come up the time frames, this daily time frame, weekly time frame, but it may be that you end up with a swing there, and you're selling the US dollar against the yen, which is going to be costing you for the carry. Aussie dollar, got to balance it all out at the end of the day. Okay, Aussie dollar, well, as I said yesterday, it's in range. It continued in range yesterday, and very little range it was too, and well, it's breaking down a little bit at the moment. My preference here is still to be on the sell side of this Aussie dollar, and well, maybe it's got a chance to get back towards Friday's lows, those prior lows there at some point. It certainly looks like it's heading off that sort of way. Maybe a little selling back to its 60.21 or something like that may provide it, but the way it's consolidating here, perhaps it won't even get back up to that sort of level. So another one that's looking just like the euro, the Aussie is looking very thin in terms of price action, and may just continue its rollover. Finally, the Canadian dollar of the majors here. I'm just looking at Canadian dollar. Well, it softened up in the end yesterday. It did break down there, but couldn't hold on, and has reversed, heading back towards that 133.38 sort of zone. A monthly R2 level, which has been providing resistance. Now that in itself may be a target. It may eventually break through that, but the more it knocks on that door, the more likely it's to go through. But at the moment, well, I'd still be looking for retraces to buy into it if I was going to be trading it. It doesn't work out for much of the day. A great trade. I mean, yesterday it eventually picked up yesterday afternoon there before it really did anything, and it pulled back to its daily pivot, which is doing a statistical trade, as I call it, high probability of being hit. Now at the moment, looking at this, well, the daily pivot lays below, and it may just pull back there. That in itself may provide a turning point, a support point for upside, but it may just never get there. At the moment, it's just, as I say, consolidation. Actually, it's not so bad here on the Canadian dollar. It may roll back enough towards that sort of zone and provide a spot to be buying, but in the meantime, obviously, it's a potential short back down towards it, but again, it can run very slowly during the mornings. Right, that's it for me. News-wise today, very little. I mean, we're really looking forward to tomorrow's US GDP data that's coming out at 1:30. There's so little in the way of significant news in this last week of the month, as ever. We do have crude oil inventories later on this afternoon, and that's it. So I wish you a great day. As I say, the pound remains my favourite trading partner at the moment. And it really depends on if it can push back through there. I'd prefer to be on the long side, so maybe we'll see that this morning. Have a great one. Bye for now.